You learn the dance early in Africa. Nobody teaches you, not formally. There's no class, no manual, no YouTube tutorial. But by the time you're 12, maybe 13, you know the steps. You know that when a police checkpoint appears on the road ahead, the car gets quieter. Your mother's hand reaches for a handbag. Your father's voice drops half an octave. Everyone sits a little straighter, even the children. You learn to keep your hands visible. You learn not to argue. You learn that the safest answer to almost any question is yes, sir. You learn that the 50 naira note folded behind your license is not a bribe, it's an offering, a tithe to the God of no trouble. And if you grew up poor, in the informal settlements of Nairobi, in the back streets of Lagos, in the townships of Johannesburg, then the dance was not a dance, it was a survival drill. Because in those places, the uniform does not protect you, it threatens you. An Afrobarometer survey across 39 African countries between 2021 and 2023 found that only 32% of citizens said their police often or always operated in a professional manner. In Nigeria, the number was 13%. In Kenya, 18%. 38% of citizens across the continent said police often or always use excessive force during protests. And among those who sought police assistance, more than 1 in 3 had to pay a bribe just to get help. Let me say that again. You go to the police for help, and 1 in 3 of you is poorer than when you arrived. In Liberia, 78% paid a bribe. In Nigeria, 75%. In Uganda, 71%. These are not rumors. These are face-to-face interviews with over 48,000 people. The dance is real, and millions of Africans know the steps by heart. In Kenya, they know about Yassin. Yassin Hussein Moyo was 13 years old, a standard 8 pupil at Nduruno Primary School. On the evening of March 30th, 2020, schools were closed because of COVID-19. A nationwide curfew had just begun. Yassin was at home, standing on the balcony with his mother and siblings, watching police patrol the street below. The police shone a torch on the balcony, then they fired. A bullet entered Yassin's stomach. He fell off the chair he was standing on and said to his mother, "Mama, I have been shot." She told him to stop joking. When his sister lifted his shirt, his intestines were visible through the wound. Yassin was dead by 3 a.m. His father, Hussein Moyo, later said, "My child did not die of corona. My child was killed by a police bullet." The officer charged with Yassin's murder, Dankun Ndiema, was released on bail worth less than $9,000. As of the last report, the trial has been adjourned multiple times. Witnesses have been intimidated. The family has been threatened. By mid-April 2020, Kenya had recorded 12 confirmed COVID-19 deaths, but police had already killed at least 18 people enforcing the curfew. In Mombasa, a motorcycle taxi driver named Hamisi Mbega was beaten to death for breaking curfew. He was trying to take a pregnant woman to hospital. In Nigeria, they remember Lekki. October 20th, 2020, thousands of young Nigerians had spent weeks peacefully protesting against SARS, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. SARS was originally created in 1992 to fight armed robbery, but over the decades, the unit became notorious for extortion, torture, unlawful arrests, and extrajudicial killings. Amnesty International documented at least 82 cases of torture and extrajudicial execution between January 2017 and May 2020. The youths at Lekki were asking for one thing: end the brutality. That evening, as the protesters sat peacefully at the Lekki toll gate, waving Nigerian flags and singing the national anthem, the lights went out. CCTV cameras were reportedly removed, and then soldiers opened fire. Amnesty International confirmed at least 12 killed at Lekki and Alausa that night. DJ Switch, live streamed the horror on Instagram. The government called it a phantom massacre. A judicial panel later called it exactly what it was, a massacre. In July 2024, the ECOWAS Court of Justice ruled that the Nigerian government was guilty of human rights abuse for what happened at Lekki. In South Africa, police killed someone every 20 hours in the year before COVID hit. 424 deaths as a result of police action in a single year. Nathaniel Julius, a 16-year-old boy with Down syndrome in Soweto, was shot dead because he did not respond when police called out to him. He was walking home from buying biscuits. He could not respond. He had a disability. They shot him anyway. In Uganda, during that same pandemic period, security forces killed 6 people for curfew violations. Some of them were walking to work. And across all of it, the pattern is the same. The victims are poor, the victims are young, the victims are black, and accountability, when it comes at all, arrives years late and out of breath. But I promised you an honest story, and honest stories have more than one verse. Because here's what is also true. Not every officer is the enemy, and the ones who serve well deserve to be seen as clearly as the ones who do not. In Epoma, a small town in Edo State, Nigeria, a man named Olubayo Ajao became the divisional police officer. Chief Superintendent Ajao had served with UN peacekeeping operations in Liberia. He came to Epoma and did something that should not be remarkable but was. He embedded himself in the community. He walked the streets. He spoke to people. He set up a system he called problem-solving policing. Within months, crime dropped. An anonymous donor gave the police station a vehicle. Young men in the community formed a group of over 1,000 volunteers called Atanapa, meaning tigers, to help fight crime alongside the officers. One Epoma resident said of him, he is a regular person, fully embedded in the community, sharing people's joy and pain. Another said he is a no-nonsense police officer, tough on criminals. Both things were true at the same time. That is what good policing looks like. In Kenya, after the Garissa University attack, a regional coordinator named Mohamud Saleh was appointed to a community that deeply distrusted the police. Instead of arriving with force, he set up a direct telephone line so ordinary people could reach his office. When attacks occurred, instead of responding with raids, he held public forums, called Barasa to identify the root cause. He replaced what Safer World, a global peace organization, described as a forceful approach with one based on trust and accountability. Kenya also developed a community policing model called Nyumba Kumi, meaning 10 households. Clusters of neighbors working together with police to keep watch and report threats, not surveillance, partnership. I do not tell you these stories to excuse anything. The blood on the streets of Nairobi, Lagos, Soweto, and Kampala is real. The bullet that took Yassin is real. The silence that followed Lekki is real. The bribery, the beatings, the impunity, all real. But so is the officer in Epoma who walks the streets at night. So is the coordinator in Garissa who opened a phone line instead of reaching for a gun. So is the constable in some small town you will never hear about who returned a lost child to its mother instead of asking for money first. The problem was never that Africa has no good police officers. The problem is that the system punishes the good ones and promotes the bad ones. The problem is that a young officer who joins the force wanting to serve discovers within weeks that the real currency is not justice, it is compliance. Compliance with corruption, compliance with silence, compliance with the dance. And until the system changes, the dance will continue. Your mother will still reach for a handbag at the checkpoint. Your father will still drop his voice. You will still fold that note behind your license. And somewhere in Africa, right now, another 13-year-old is standing on the balcony, watching. We owe it to Yassin to make sure the next one makes it to 14.